Well, hello everyone. Welcome to G2 Esports and welcome to the Community Showdown. My name is, of course, George Morgan. I am your commentator and presenter here tonight. We're going to be going racing around Lime Rock Park, and certainly a fast circuit, also a technical circuit of sorts as well. Very challenging for some drivers with plenty of runoff, but not necessarily runoff into the best places. It's going to be a challenge, certainly a test, but I'm for one, looking forward to it. And of course, if you want to get involved as well, you can obviously head across to the G2 Esports channels as well, partnered and powered too by our good folks at Next Level Racing. Big thank you to them for all their support. It is very much appreciated. But yes, we're heading to Lime Rock Park. Radicals. That is going to be the hors d'oeuvre for the evening. I personally can't wait. Of course, the racing that we have on offer, certainly in tracks such as Lime Rock, which obviously offer plenty of overtaking opportunities. Obviously, some drivers like to maybe balance risk and reward a little bit. It can truly test them, and I for one can't wait. Plenty of drivers that have got involved as well that are part of the community, but also some very experienced heads that feature in the G2 Esports team, including the likes of Isaac Price and Eamon Murphy, who have featured in the ESL R1 competition, and we will be hearing as well, hopefully, from them later on in the broadcast, so do sit tight. If you haven't done so already, please make sure as well that you've followed the channels and also leave a subscribe as well. Make sure you also check out the good people at Next Level Racing as well, as they have been so supportive towards this particular team and also this community showdown as well, and we can't wait to get into it. But yes, lots to talk about. We've got two races to bring you. First one, of course, opening up with a qualifying session, 5 minutes of qualifying and then a half an hour race, and then we have a reverse grid race based on the results of the previous race, and it's reverse results. So if you won, you start from the back. Therefore, if you start at the back, you start on pole position, or you finish at the back, should I say, or finish at the front in race one. You start from the back if you won the race. If you finished at the back during the race one, you then start from pole position. So there we go. Plenty to look forward to. Lots of action. It's going to be crazy. I think we're going to be in for a real treat. And obviously the Radicals themselves, very powerful machines, V8 engines in their own right, and 6-speed gearboxes, manual gearboxes. It's going to be a real test. They do like to make a noise as well, if any of you are avid followers of V8 machinery. And of course, we do have an interview standing by as well. So we are going to move across. Well, Isaac is with us, Isaac Price. Great to have you with us, Isaac. Obviously, fresh off the back of ESL R1. It's been a busy year for you, my friend, but you're lining up tonight in a little bit of a different showcase tonight. It's a community-level competition, but I still think you're going to give us everything, right?
Yeah, I don't think any competitive sim racer is ever going to just drive for fun. It's always a competition, so definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
still up for it.
I know you, my friend. I mean, we've been working together, obviously, time and time again, right through the year. You've had to put up with me. Salute to you for that. But hey, listen, it's been a long year, and obviously you've had a mixture of LAN events and also online rounds. You're back into online competition. Have you had a lot of time in the Radical yourself? Have you spent some time in the car?
To be honest, I only found out that I was doing this a couple of days ago. So I've done a bit of practice, but not a lot. Definitely not as much as these guys have. So it's going to be fun. Tough challenge, but should be good fun.
Yeah, and your impressions of Lime Rock Park, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a track that I drove, obviously, when I started doing iRacing, but that was like 15 years ago, probably. So, yeah, definitely a long time since I've been driving Lime Rock. Short track, very fun to drive. I think racing will be very interesting. The tires, especially on like the first couple of laps, take a while to like really get performance out of them. So, yeah, I think the start of races will be very interesting.
Yeah, and with the style of the circuit in itself, I mean, it's generally quite open in a way, isn't it? You can see lots of it, but also there's lots of, should we say, treacherous runoff with grass verges and things of that nature. Obviously, some drivers, I think, find it inviting to perhaps open up the door and go maybe even 2-3 wide, heading through certain corners. So are you expecting drivers to kind of push the limits a little bit tonight?
I hope I have no one making it 2-3 wide with me. I think it'll end really badly, to be honest. But yeah,
come on, you're a pro.
It should be good fun. Yeah, it's a bit different racing on iRacing though. Everything's always a little bit more. You have to be much more precise. I feel like you can't get away with contact on this game. So
yeah, I mean, obviously as well.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the fun. Exactly right. And then talking, about what we've witnessed through the course of the year. I mean, you, of course, been competing at the highest level. On top of that now, getting involved in community events with G2 Esports. They're very community conscious and things of that nature. So you yourself, can you summarize what this year's been like for you?
Yeah, it's been, I've been sim racing a long time, but it's been definitely a unique year. Like, going to lots of different competitions all around the world, and competing in LAN is something, especially during in COVID times, that's been something we weren't able to do very much. So, yeah, it's been nice to get back to competing on site and be able to see your rivals face to face. That's always gives a little bit more of an atmosphere to the events and stuff. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it certainly has been a cultural experience. We've witnessed, various different locations, places across the globe, even with the ESLR1 competition that you were very much involved with, as I was too, in terms of the commentary box. But yes, in terms of results, expectations, I'm going to lay this on you. Prediction time. Where are we going to see Isaac Price tonight?
Well, I'm going to start from last in the races. So obviously, that rules me out of winning. To be honest, I think that's a good thing. Kind of, it lets the battle at the front take care of itself. For these guys, winning the prizes is important. So I'd rather stay out of their fight. But it should still be fun. Give you some content to talk about, hopefully, as well.
Love that.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be about avoiding the carnage on the first couple laps, and then try and pick off a couple of people in both races. Like, I think it's going to be tough to make too many overtakes during the race unless people make mistakes. But who knows? We'll see.
Oh, we'll look forward to seeing it, Isaac. We wish you the very best of luck, my friend. We'll let you get settled, let you get composed, and we'll see you in the race.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Isaac Price, everybody. And very shortly as well, we will hopefully be joined by Eamon Murphy as well. We will get an update on that very shortly. But yes, I mean, Isaac Price's year has been immensely busy. He's been giving it absolutely everything. Certainly, he's been faced with his fair share of challenges as well. Obviously, the online rounds of ESLR1 can be very fraught as well, very contentious, lots of battling. And the way the system works, it's so brutal as well. Only the top 6 prevailing and moving on to the next segments. And Isaac was very much in the mix of it. But I have to say, his records of getting into top 6s were very, very good. He really did give everything for G2 Esports, and he was very unlucky, I would argue, off the face of it, coming into the final echelons of the year. But I'm sure there's big plans for Isaac heading through to 2024, no doubt. But yes, he's absolutely right in what he's saying too. If you listen the way he speaks so candidly as well about coming into the community events, despite being a pro, you still want to race. You still want to race to the best of your ability as well. But folks, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Well, welcome back, folks. As we look ahead now, we're not far away from heading to the circuit for some racing action. We want to hear from you as well. Get involved in the live chat, folks. We will, of course, be reading out your comments as we make our way through the racing action we have ahead. Of course, reminder of qualifying 5 minutes ahead of us, and then 2 races to come, including one that we will have, obviously, with the qualified grid, and then a reverse grid scenario at the end of race 1 heading into race 2, where we will reverse the results, and that will be our grid for the start of race 2. It's going to be very exciting. Big hello as well to everybody in the chat. Make sure you let yourselves be heard, folks. Let yourselves be known, and we will read your comments out. If you have any predictions as well, we want to hear them. So make yourselves truly known. We're looking forward to it. But yes, very shortly, 5 minutes. Now, 5 minutes in terms of qualifying doesn't really leave a huge window for setting a really decent lap time. So the pressure is going to be on the drivers here tonight. Track space is going to be a real contentious matter. Lime Rock Park, only 7 corners around this particular circuit, and there's plenty of them that are fast-paced, but it's managing that pace as well as a usage of the brake pedals, etc., everything else. So it comes down to, I would say, arguably, like anything when it comes to motorsport, truly whoever has really laid down the most practice is obviously going to prevail on the day. But Lime Rock Park, even the most practiced driver can be tripped up from time to time. But yes, really appreciate you guys getting involved. Like I said, hit that follow button as well. Tell your friends, share and subscribe. You're going to be in for a real treat. Can Isaac Price? He could reach P1. I don't believe in what he's saying. I think he could very easily achieve it. He's certainly a raw talent. Even the likes of Eamon Murphy, the Irishman, who has certainly led G2 very strongly over the course of the calendar year as well, and has also been competing in ESL R1 competition. But it's from GT3s into radicals, different beasts, 500 brake horsepower of the realm, up to 700 brake as well in certain areas too. Of course, the engines for these particular cars are fashioned out of Peterborough in the United Kingdom, and are certainly homegrown in terms of the vehicles themselves that have been around since 2005. And you will hear them very shortly and see how quick they truly are. And it's definitely, in many ways, a favourite on iRacing in itself too. I know that from speaking to various content creators as well as sim racing drivers, many of them across the board take part in radical competition, and it's very exciting. And obviously open cockpit as well, so the drivers will get a full view, a full blast of what's in front of them. It's going to be a huge challenge. Make sure you get involved as well, folks. I believe there is, it looks like there's some giveaways going on in the chat as well, so make sure you get involved with that. You can elevate your gaming with Next Level Racing as well. 5% off all products in the USA with the code G2 Esports. So if you guys are interested in that, you can take a look at that too. But yes, it's going to be fun. I think there's going to be many a slip up, so I'm looking forward to that. But very shortly, we will be heading through to qualifying, so we will not have long to wait. Let's talk a little bit more about Lime Rock Park in terms of the layout, because of course some of the corners are quite trepidatious. I'm looking at turn 1. Obviously, Big Bend is what they call that, heading in towards turn 2. Now you're pretty much turning back on yourselves, heading through towards the S's. The left-hander coming out of turn 3 is quite aggressive. You need to really position the car as wide as you can heading out of turn 2 to hit the apex coming out of turn 3 in towards turn 4. The S's pretty much speaks for itself. If you have the momentum heading out of turn 4, you've then got the run through what they call no-name straight. Now, no-name straight may be named a straight, but it's not really a straight. There's a slight kink in the course, which again can open the door for the odd driver to perhaps make a move. And obviously they need to make use of the aero. That is likely, I think, where we could see a little bit of bump draft action heading through that segment and then into the uphill at turn 5. And that is quite jagged. Right-hander, pretty tricky. Of course, we'll see that in action later on. And you head down the back straight towards West Bend at turn 6, and then a downhill section as well. So there is a bit of elevation here at this particular circuit, and that's going to be something that will be challenging to the drivers as well. And again, all down to car positioning. And I think when we see the cars obviously looking to attack and defend later on, it will be very much that game of chess that we very commonly see in motorsport, especially in the radicals, given how fast these guys will be traveling in these V8 engine-powered cars. It is really going to be a challenge. And then, of course, downhill into the diving turn. And diving doesn't speak enough about it. Turn 7 is near enough 90 degrees almost. So if you think of a right angle, but going left as you're looking at it on the track map, but right, certainly when you're on the circuit, it is just as terrifying as that. It is going to be it's going to be great in terms of overtaking. I think obviously if you want to risk it heading into a late braking zone, but you've got to be conscious of the downhill elements too. So make sure that you put your anchors down in a timely fashion. Otherwise, you do risk moving your car off the track somewhat and losing it altogether. But yes, it's going to be a thriller. Then of course you do have the Samposi Straight leading down through towards the start-finish line, where you'll then commence another lap. So this track in itself, 1.53 miles. That's 2.462 kilometers, and it's actually an FIA Grade 2 circuit. And do you know who holds the lap record around this track? And it's a name that is synonymous with Formula One, despite it not necessarily being that said driver in itself, Juan Manuel Fangio. But I'm not talking about the Juan Manuel Fangio who won the Formula One World Championship back in 1951. Of course, I'm on about his nephew, Juan Manuel Fangio II, who went ahead and took the lap record back in 1993 in the IMSA Championship in the GTP class, and managed to achieve that twice over. Of course, they won that back in 92 and sequentially in 93 as well. Now, I am getting news, folks. Of course, sit tight in the chat. We will not be able to broadcast quali, but we will be bringing the results, obviously, heading into racing action. When we see the grid, of course, you'll be made aware of what the grid looks like when we head into the race later on. So sit tight. It's only a 5-minute session, so we shouldn't be too long. So as soon as we get quali over and done with, we'll be able to move straight into the race. So you get all the mean, gritty action straight away. Not bad at all. But yes, talking about Juan Manuel Fangio, the second, obviously the Eagle Mark III is what he utilised in order to take that race lap record. And he did it in stellar style as well. Teamed up with Parnell Jones, incidentally, and they both went on to win at Lime Rock Park back-to-back in 92 and 93, as I alluded to. Same partnership, working together, and they managed to achieve some really sensational results in the IMSA Championship that season. So credit to them on that. Is certainly going to be interesting to see whether we can see anyone perhaps match that pace, or perhaps someone, even go ahead and do a lot better and take victory in both races. I mean, it's a possibility, but we've got to remain conscious of the fact that obviously that person will be starting from the back of the grid for the following race. But hey, stranger things have happened in motorsport, so you never know. You simply never know. But yes, again, big thank you to everyone in the chat. I can already see, we've got plenty of people in the chat. We've got all sorts of people getting involved. Let us know who your selections are. I want to see a prediction. Where does everyone think Isaac Price is going to end up after race 1? That's what I want to know. Let us know in the live chat. Let us know your comments. And if you've raced at Lime Rock Park, I want you to tell us our experiences too, or your experiences, should I say, and I can let you know your experience live on the broadcast. We can talk through it, because I tell you what, there's going to be plenty of drivers out there, I think, suffering at the depths of this particular track in itself. But yeah, plenty to be considered. Obviously, we could talk about the championship in terms of the way the points are stacked. It's going to be interesting, because obviously you get 30 points for the win, and obviously with it being a community showdown, it's a one-hit wonder when it comes to the show tonight. It's not a long championship. Obviously we've got to factor in that at the end of the day, it's one night only. You need to be on the ball heading into both races. We can actually take you through the grid as well, because we've got quite a stacked lineup making our way through this championship fight. We've got Jack Harrison from the United States, Marcelo Rivera from Australia, Timo Rohde from Switzerland, Nora E. Soraya from Spain, as we see the cars now lined up onto the grid as well. So sit tight, everybody. There's the pace car. Standing start here as well, here in the Radicals. So as soon as we get underway, we will be showing it live to you guys. So do not go away. Do not turn your heads. You do not want to miss a thing as we look set to go racing here in the Community Showdown. Further down as well, we have Thomas Simon from the United Kingdom, Blake Townend from the United Kingdom as well. And then Cody Deeth from Australia, Lewis Barlow from the United Kingdom, Fabio Zampolini from Brazil, Miguel Cuenca Martin from Spain, Saviro Ferraro in the United States, Rob Marriott as well from Canada, Jonathan Smith from the United Kingdom, Benjamin Smith from Australia, United States being represented by Bryce Veyer, Jean-Christophe Trahan as well from Canada, Tobias Alvarez from the United Kingdom, Victor Tunkowski as well from Poland, Travis Banks from the United States, Nicolo Ganassi from Italy, Isaac Price, of course, from the United Kingdom, Eamon Murphy and Robbie Stapleford as our resident pros in this championship. So here we go. As we look to get set, you can see the track map in the top right-hand corner. Again, alluding to that turn 1, that is going to be a challenge for many of them. We've got a car moving on the line there, just slightly. Bit of support here for Blake as well. Safety car getting us back now as the cars run down through towards turn 1. And there you can see the banner, the Sam Posey Straight, which is the name given to the long stretch in between turn 7 and turn 1. Now, interesting to note, as Isaac Price said, tyre wear is going to be a major factor. Given everything that's on the line, it's going to be a huge challenge for the drivers. As we make our way through racing action once again, heading through turn 3, you can just see what I mean with regards to the apex. You are turning back on yourself heading through the S's. And it's quite vicious, especially when you consider it's quite a long gap between turns 2 and 3 in terms of an S section. I mean, generally when we think of S's, such as like we see in Silverstone with Maggots and Beckett's, and also at Cota in the first sector, where you make your way out of turn 2 and through 3, 4 and 5 and 6. it's slightly more delayed in terms of that, so plenty to be concerned with as we ride on board with Timo Rohde. And as he makes his way down the stretch, of course, he's got a little bit of company as well alongside him. Lots of action to be had. Of course, Rohde representing the Swiss. His pre-qualifying rank actually represented third, but qualifying in first. So now wait the cars to make their way down the stretch this time around now as well. Who is going to get the best of the jumps here off the line? It's going to be a mighty challenge for all of these drivers to marshal it around. Expect the side-by-side action as they make their way around turn 7, down the long straight, and it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. And as they streak away down this next long straight, I can see from the front end, it looks like it might be Timo Rohde who might have got the jump on everybody here, making their way through turn 1. Jose Soraya in second place. Bryce Veyer, oh, 2 cars coming off straight away, heading through towards turn 2 and turn 3. We mentioned that could certainly happen as they got underway, but Rohde was not messing around. He made his way through. Jason Bentz getting caught up at the back, as well as Severo Ferraro, who ended up towards the rear. Rear wing damage, a huge crash. Goodness me. Rob Marriott involved as well. He gets himself back out onto the circuit. Clear rear spoiler damage on the car as well. The rear wing definitely looking buckled already. That's going to hamper the aero as you make your way around this track, and that is certainly devastating around a circuit such as this particular one at Lime Rock Park. It's going to be an immense challenge for those that have sustained aero damage to try and manage car positioning and also trying to maximise your mere pace in this scenario. As now we see Isaac Price now already on the move. P7 straight away. The luck has definitely spilled somewhat in his favour to a certain degree. As we now ride on board with him right now, making his way down through this next slalom section. He's got turn 5 coming up as well. And he's going to look to try and make the most out of this one now. Turn 6 coming up next. This is the downwards section, out of the uphill, back straight into West Bend, and then down through towards the final corner, which then you'll meet diving turn. And as I said, almost 90 degrees, slightly more open than 90 degrees. Obviously not quite as vicious as that, but still at the same time vicious enough. Plenty of cars, as you can see, already making their way into the pit lane. But that was certainly a banzai of a start. I will say this, Timo Rohde up at the front end, despite holding on to the lead. That gap, I think, has come down slightly. Soraya has started actually attacking it right now. 4/10 now is all that separates them up at the front end. There's Jack Harrison, fastest lap of the race so far, 46.006 at this point. You can just hear the loud wail of the V8 engine as it makes its way through. Purple in that second sector this time, though, for Jose Soraya, as he looks to try and close the gap on Rohde. This battle for the lead is still very much in contention here. Coming through turn 1, Rohde still out in front. He holds the fastest lap of the race now, after going purple with a 45.343. 4/10 of a second now is all that separates Soraya and Rohde, with Veyer now further back. 1.3 becomes 1.4. So the front two starting to get away here at this point. So they now head down in towards the next right. So it's a battle between red and green, as they now sprint away towards turn 6, just looping around, trying to take as wide a line as possible to carry the speed through West Bend in towards the downhill. Conscious of the brakes as well, but also use of the throttle as they now look to power their way down. You can just see breaking the toe there, Timo Rohde. And now in towards turn 1 again. The gap between them now again coming down by another 10th as Soraya takes the fastest lap of the race, 45.072. They're getting closer and closer. This definitely will end up, I would not be surprised, in a wheel-to-wheel scrap, as we now see the cars head through the first sector into the second sector at a turn 4, through the no-name straight, and then through the uphill at turn 5, as we now ride on board with Jose Soraya. 6/10 now, that gap has gone out somewhat. I think Rohde just finding that little bit extra, but does rumble a little bit further onto the grass than what Soraya did. Now that will open up Jose heading down this long straight, trying to get back into the area. You can just see now the gap starting to come down, as we see the rear wing on Rohde's car starting to get closer and closer, and Soraya does indeed set the fastest lap once again, 45.032. And now he's nearly as close as he's ever been. You can see the brake plate on the back of Rohde's car as you see the lights flashing as he's trying to position his car in a greater area of defence. Soraya, though, purple in this first sector, now making his way out of turn 4. I think he might have just had it taken away from him, in fact, as we now notice the cars that have definitely started warming those tyres up. They'll be near enough up to optimal temperature, you would like to think, as they now sprint through this next segment now once again. Bryce Veyer, 1.7 seconds back now in third place. So again, these front two starting to career out in front. This will be a great start for Roder if he can carry this out all the way home. It's going to be one tricky job for him to achieve that. Obviously, with everything now out onto the table, we've seen obviously the incidents be carried out the way they have been. Plenty of drivers that have unfortunately made their way into the pits and have had to obviously repair their vehicles. There's Bryce Veyer, who's got a little bit of a gap to find. But the one bit of comfort he does have is that Miguel Martin is currently sat 3.2 in behind in 4th place, with Jack Harrison even further back as well. So the front two still continuously working away. Just look at that, the gap now out to 2 seconds here at this point. 44.7 from Timo Roder at the front. There's Martin. Miguel Martin, of course, making his way around 2. Jack Harrison now up to 5th place, 4.4 seconds away. Further back, Isaac Price as well, who is right in the midst of trying to chase down after Lewis Barlow as well. We've got Zampolini, who is right behind Price, looking to try and chase him down here. Could be an opening up opportunity here heading out of the no-name straight. Coming through turn 5. It's a question of how brave how brave are you, Zampolini? Will he be looking to try and make a move heading down the back straight out of the uphill? There's a chance he might do that. I mean, we did hear from Isaac Price that he has had very little time to get used to this particular car. Only a mere couple of days. I mean, he had a blistering start, to be fair. I mean, remember, he was starting from the back of the field, much like the likes of Eamon Murphy and Robbie Stapleford. As we now see them make their way through this next right-hander yet again. Minimalistic gaps between them here. Of course, the gap that you're seeing in the top left, folks, is concerning the difference between Zampolini, 9 seconds from the race lead of Timo Roder. Just look how close they are once again. 3/10 is all that's separating Price and Zampolini heading up the hill now. And that's the gap that we have seen consistently between Roder and Soraya. Again, Zampolini threatening as they head down the hill now. This time out of turn 6, out of West Bend, and in towards the diving turn. Will there be a dive here for Zampolini? He's right in the aero, right in the drag strip. Just needs to try and open up an opportunity, but Price doing everything he can to keep him at bay. Despite this being a community event, he's certainly not allowing, or certainly trying not to allow, any opportunity for Zampolini to maximise his opportunity here for 7th place. It is on the line, and this is allowing Lewis Barlow to get away as well. Look at Zampolini. Look at how much more aggression he is showing heading through this portion of circuit now, and he has just taken purple, I think, in this sector as well. So this is a great showing here from Fabio Zampolini. I mean, what a statement this would be for him. Obviously, Isaac Price, who has been a formidable contender in sim racing now for so many years. Of course, I allude back to his history in the Formula 1 F1 Esports World Championship, where, of course, he was picked during the draft stage, and he was part of that fabric for such a long time, and has since transitioned into GT3 competition, iRacing as well, and very successfully too. He's such a certainly a medal in your back pocket for Fabio Zampolini if he can take on Isaac Price here up the hill again. Down the hill this time around, heading out of turn 6 again, swarming all over the back of that rear wing as they now cascade in towards turn 7. Further up as well, the gap between the front two is again coming down as Soraya holds the fastest lap of the race, 44.684, and he's 5/10 away. As we take a look at Lewis Barlow as well, Miguel Martin as well, right in the mix too. Bryce Weir, who's in fact 3rd fastest now, 2.6, that gap has gone out. Miguel Martin, I think, trying to get as close as he can. There's Jose Soraya. Remember, of course, that gap went out in nearly a second. He's now brought it straight back in, so he is going to work here, doing his best not to allow Roder to get away. But credit to him, he's ushering in the fastest laps. He's just lost a 10th though, heading through the final corner. Down the straight now in towards turn 1 yet again. A little bit of pit lane activity as well. I think Marcello Rivera might be in the pits. Not quite sure what's happening there. I think it was car number 16 that's currently in there right now. They head out. It might be 18 actually. Do apologise. Might be Cody Deeth who is actually currently sat in the pit lane. As we're now seeing them make their way down through towards this next section. Of course, heading out of the no-name straight. Not quite as straight as I said. A little kink in the course. But Timo Roeder's trying to exploit right now. 44.684 now. The gaps are minimal in between their fastest laps. 0.6 of a second is all that's between them. Of course, the points, as I said so, just to give you guys an insight as to how the point system works. 30 points for a victory in race 1, 25 for second place, 20 points for third, 18 points for fourth, with 15 points going to fifth as well, 12 points going to sixth place, 10 points going for seventh, 7 for eighth, and 4 for ninth, and 1 for 10th as well. Zampolini once again getting closer to Price as he looks to try and gather that 7th place. He's refused to bend here though, Isaac Price. He's done absolutely everything to hold place. He's done brilliantly as well, because Zampolini has been threatening. He's got in close time and time again. Is the Price right this time for Isaac Price? Ran a little wide there, little squirrely on exit. That might open the door here for Zampolini, who he himself, oh! Massive moment there for Zampolini. Could have very easily lost the car. And you can see how much of a difference it's made in terms of the delta. Take a look at that, folks. The difference maker right there, heading out of that swooping diving turn. And I did say that would be a danger point as well. Very nearly losing the radical. And he very nearly did pay the price. Only it wouldn't be Isaac Price that would have paid the price on that occasion. It would have been Fabio Zampolini. Has in fact invited Tamas into the mix as well. Tamas Simon trying to get closer. He's also brought in Joey Loctrecciano into the fray as well. Apologies to Joey if I butchered his surname there, but yeah, I think we might have got it right. Currently sat in 10th place and doing well to try and marshal the gaps. We now see car just X'd in the pit lane, I believe, there as well. Back into the race. Rob Marriott further down as well. Currently sat 11th in contention. The gap at the front still remains as well at 0.5 of a second. It has not budged whatsoever. The front two still continuing to move away. Miguel Martin, though, getting closer to Bryce Veer. He's now only 0.6 away. It's getting very close now between them. Lewis Barlow in 6th place as well. There's Jack Harrison. There's Miguel Martin. 4th on the board. 5 seconds off the lead, but crucially enough, a podium could yet be in sight. Still plenty of time still to go. 44.684 set by Soraya, still holds the fastest lap here at this stage. With Roeder slides in front, 0.5 between them. 4.3 seconds back then, Bryce Veer with Miguel Martin chasing him down. Jack Harrison then a second back in behind those with Lewis Barlow. 9.5 seconds off him. Isaac Price doing his best to try and break away from the battle that is ensuing in behind him here. Martin now fires his way heading through turn 7. Out of the diving turn, heading down the long straight, turn 1 out to the Samposi straight. And once again, they'll begin another lap on this 1.53 mile circuit this time around. Jason Bentz, we're currently seeing on screen. He, of course, a lap down. Plenty of cars, incidentally, getting caught up in that opening incident. It was quite a scary moment. Many of them getting caught up, you know, heading around turn 1. We did say how dangerous it could be because while it's not necessarily an aggressive corner, it is vastly open and you can very much lose your bearings heading through that segment as well, especially when you can barely see where the circuit ends. It's a struggle to know how far you can push those limits, as we now see purple once again light up here for Jose Soraya. 0.4 now away from Timo Roeder. Now the big test will be the lapped cars and also the tyre wear. How much of it will get affected? Miguel Martin moving now for 3rd place as he looks to try and challenge Miguel Martin. Well, Bryce Veer swamping all over the place as they head through this initial segment, and Miguel Martin now taking 3rd place away from Bryce Veer. It was coming, he was getting closer, and he's managed to make the move, but it looks like Veer might look to try and challenge him again. Heading down this next stretch now to turn 5. Down the back straight still as they now venture through West Bend. It's still Martin holding on to third. Great move indeed to try and snap up that P3. Did it in style. And it was coming given the pace that he was showing. Of course, what it has meant while they've squabbled, they've lost even more time to Jose Soria for that second place spot. Remember, it was 4 seconds. It is now an additional 2.3 down the road. So this is very much a fight for third place as it stands. Soria as well as Rauder getting closer as well. 4/10 is all that separates them. No movement necessarily up at the top end. There's Jack Harrison as well, 7.1 off the lead, but he is still very close in behind Bryce Veer, so it could be a double defeat here for Bryce Veer should this continue. Jack Harrison looking so good. In fact, the fastest lap is actually faster than Bryce Veer's fastest lap, so you could argue that the pace is with Harrison here at this point. Now down the main straight again at Samposi in towards turn 1. 2 cars now venturing off into turn 1 as well. I believe that is indeed at this point going to conclude issues. I think Timo Rauder might have taken victory. I think he has. Yes, Timo Rauder is your victor, I believe, here at this point. Just looking at my screen. I will get some clarification on this, folks, whether that is a victory or not. But there we have it. Fascinating race. Credit to Timo Rauder, Jose Soria getting closer as well. But there we have it. Your victor. There or thereabouts. It's Timo Rauder after an absolutely sensational qualifying, taking pole. He has now just taken the race victory. Jose Soria in second place. We've got to give credit as well, though, to those further down, because there was a big battle for that third place as well. I believe as well, Jose Soria picking up the fastest lap of the race too, though 30 points will be going to Timo Rauder after that one, taking that all-important race win. And obviously there's more points in the locker for race 1 than there is in race 2. 5 points difference as we make our way through the second race of the evening, and we will obviously crown a champion off the back of the 2 results as well. Don't forget as well, folks, we've got a giveaway that is also on hand too. Next Level Racing very kindly supplying a rig as well, so make sure you get involved in the giveaway. If you want to find out more information on that, make sure you use the commands in the live chat too and get involved. Obviously, we're very keen on community here at G2 Esports. We very much appreciate your support, and please continue to do so. It was very much appreciated. What a race indeed. Timo Rauder, what a performance. Despite not necessarily being the fastest, again, it's all about a chess game. We said that, obviously, about this circuit being, despite it being flat out, it's extremely technical in its own right, in a sense of, you know, not necessarily so many heavy braking zones, but it's all about where to find the draft, where to find the pace. Rauder doing enough to prevent Soria making a move on the day, but take nothing away from Jose Soria. Fastest lap going to him. I mean, credit to Miguel Martin as well. Fantastic display to take that final podium place. Third place after that. It's a double Spanish podium, in fact, after that. After taking second and third, Switzerland reigning at the top. But we're going to take a quick break, folks. We'll be right back. For the giveaway is the folks, and after that stellar first race as well, we're getting closer and closer to crowning our Community Showdown champion here tonight. Of course, we've got another race to bring you, which will be the race result reverse grid as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to that one. Make sure as well, like I said, get involved in the giveaway. Use !giveaway. Get involved as well. You can see also Nightbot going to work, giving you the juicy scoops in behind that. Next Level Racing giving away a GT Light Pro giveaway, of course. $299 value as well, in fact. So type !giveaway and enter. Elevate your gaming setup too. So make sure you get involved, folks. And I, for one, can attest to it. I have a Next Level Racing rig. It is fantastic. So make sure you get involved, everybody. It is brilliant. So yes, we have got another special race to bring you, of course, with Team Aurora taking victory. He starts from the back end of the grid. Remember, reverse result from race 1 going into race 2. So a great opportunity for those who perhaps didn't finish the best in race 1. They'll have the clean air heading through race 2, which will be very vital, especially based on what we saw in the previous race, where we saw a mass amount of cars just lose it altogether at the very start. And that was the danger I was alluding to as well when we made our way through at the start of the race. Obviously, turn 1 at Big Bend, very easy to get lost out there, guys. And unfortunately for a few of them, they took a slight detour, didn't they? But yes, they'll be back, I'm sure. Great opportunity. And if anything, they've learned a little bit from that first race as well. I want to give a hat tip as well to Isaac Price. What a start. Remember, starting from the back, when you've got to consider that there's, around 25 drivers that would have been at that very start. Isaac Price, obviously, at the bottom end of that too, all the way up to 7th place. That is an absolutely extraordinary start to a race. No matter how good you are, That is a sensational performance. So credit to him for that. But plenty of other drivers looking to bring their best. I was really impressed with Fabio Zampolini. I thought his pace was unreal. Got slightly unlucky on the outset of turn 4 when making his way up through the no-name straight before then hitting turn 5 at the uphill. He had a great chance of perhaps laying down a bit of a move on Isaac Price for that P7, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, and Thomas Simon was able to gain closer and closer. Wasn't able, though, to make the key overtake, so Zampolini held on to that finishing place in 8th, but picks up a very crucial 7 points, which will go towards the kitty for the total points at the end. And obviously, scoring that, he won't be too far down the grid, obviously, in comparison to those that are further up above him. Obviously, the likes of Team Aurora, Jose Soria, as well as Miguel Martin and Bryce Vea as well. They're obviously going to be named starting further back, as well as Jack Harrison. Maybe a chance here for the likes of Marcello Rivera, and also not to mention Benjamin Smith, Jonathan Smith, Nora Farney. Those names are certainly going to be the ones to look out for when we head into race 2 later on. Let's see if they can close out a possible positive result. And given the fact that Rauder now is on 30 points, it's going to be a huge must now for many of the others further down. We take a look at the points bracket, incidentally. All eyes will be on the likes of your Fabio Zampolinis to see whether they can gain the points necessary to challenge, including the likes of Joey Lotriano. Of course, the issue is, because there's less points on offer for a P1 now, you could argue that it's Thomas Simon in fact, it's Fabio Zampolini at the very least who can take the championship victory now this time around, because they need to best that 30 points bracket. So Zampolini will need to perhaps even lay down a win on the table to accrue all that 25 points in order to give himself a chance. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Plenty on the table. Looking forward to seeing who's going to come out on top. Obviously, we're going to get the confirmed results, folks, very, very shortly. I know they're going to work on it right now and putting the points into the table, but I can confirm Team Aurora is, of course, top of the championship, with Jose Soria in 2nd place and Miguel Martin here in the showdown, 3rd in the table. So very exciting. Yes, get involved in the giveaway, folks. I see you, Matt Brain, Alfie Butcher as well, Garbgub, as well as Vindigo too, as we're about to get started here for the 2nd race tonight. It's going to be special. Can't wait for it. If it's anything like the first one, we'll be in for a cracker. You can see at the top left, 20 laps of action with plenty of cars now looking to line up to get a good start. And this time on the front row, Ivan Lenderosso and Nora Farney will be looking for a largely better race this time around. Key eyes, though, whether Fabio Zampolini can transfer that pace that we saw in the opening race and utilize it, though he will have this time around Isaac Price chasing him at the very start. Will we see a cleaner run in towards turn 1 as they now make their way around out of turn 7 and head down the straight? The safety car will pull in to the pit lane. It is now, immediately, Lenda Rosso, who was at the front of the order, is now in the barrier. So unfortunately, we'll lose out altogether. And now it's Norafani who takes it away as they hit pedal to the metal. And it is go, 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 go. Norafani leads. Further back, Blake Townend now in second place. Ben Smith in third. Saverio Ferraro as well further down. There's Bryce Veyer. Now looking to try and challenge here on the outside of Jack Harrison. Oh, no! Jose Soria moving up as well. 3 cars going off at turn 1. I can see Bryce Veyer, Joey Loctriano as well now 15th place. Jack Harrison now uprooted to the back. Another scrabble of cars. Nowhere near as devastating, I think, as the first time, but still nonetheless, plenty of cars off heading through turns 1. But as they make their way around, Jonathan Smith, who has got Rob Marriott in behind him, as well as Jason Bent in 5th place. 8 tenths now between Blake Townend and Norafani up at the front. Afani now trying to career away, hoping to consolidate the lead. Of course, while he doesn't have anything in front of him, he does lose out on Vital Slipstream as Saverio Ferraro now challenges for that 3rd place, takes it off Ben Smith as well as those two come together up at the front end. Only 2 tenths between them. We're riding on board with Jason Bent, who is watching all this unfold too. Fantastic start to this race. And wow, outrageous as we now see them make their climb out of turn 5 on the uphill. Heading down the back straight now in towards turn 6 at West Bend. Riding on, Jason Bent's getting so close to the back of Ben Smith. As they now venture through turn 7, and it definitely looks like that Jason Bent has got the pace. Oh, goodness me, is he going to control the car? He's lost it. He's lost it. He's in the barrier. He's spinning. He is off the track. Severe rear wing damage, unfortunately for him. And that will surely see him wedge further and further back, and no doubt he's going to lose lots more pace. And Bryce Veer is surely going to pick him off here at this point. As we now see them crawling around the track once again, Isaac Price in the top 10. He's made it into P6. There he is, folks. And chasing after Jonathan Smith as well, though he's got a little bit of time to find. But nevertheless, a great display from Isaac Price. Another consistent points position. Norafani still out in front, 7 tenths now separating Afani and Townend, with Ferraro now in third, 2.2 off the top, but keenly enough, not too far away from Townend in second place. He is starting to crawl that delta back in, but Townend does have the fastest lap so far. He's just had it taken away though by Jack Harrison in 10th place. He's trying to close down on Joey Loctriano, who was very much involved in that very early scrabble that happened earlier on. Sampolini has certainly not had the best of starts, currently sat in 15th, so the hopes that we would see him perhaps challenge further up is certainly not looking to be the case right now. Jack Harrison now 10th as Timo Rohde fires in the fastest lap of the race so far now with a 45.340. There's Price. Bryce Veer now moving up into 7th place. We now see 3 cars squabbling around. Lotriano, Jason Bentz as well, who was caught up in the frac car earlier on. You can see the damage on the rear spoiler. He's still persevering here. And right in behind, Lotriano, or Lotriano, should I say, in for P8. As they now, oh no, Lotriano, oh, he's lost it. Joey's lost it. He's down in 11th. Rob Marriott has gone through as well. Jack Harrison up to 9th. So a big moment. Heading through turn 1 out of turn 2. Jack Harrison now right up in behind. Jason Bentz is going to look to try and open up the door as we ride on board with him now. Heading through turn 5. This race has definitely kicked things up a gear in comparison to where we were at race 1 only a moment or so ago. Jack Harrison definitely looking more menacing in the corners. And without surprise here, obviously benefiting off the back of 0 damage to his car, or certainly less to the car that's behind him. Jason Bentz losing twice as now Rob Marriott powers through into 9th place. But these two are going to come together. Rob Marriott looking for 2 moves for the sake of 1 manoeuvre solely in 1 portion of track. Rob Marriott round the outside now challenging here Jack Harrison as they come wheel to wheel now. Heading through towards turn 3. They come together is now Rob Marriott, who holds on to 8th for now. Advantage to him, but he's going to go round. No! Rob Marriott's off here. Jack Harrison holds 8th. Bentz moves up to 9th place now as well. And Joey Loctriano now in 10th place. A massive moment there between them as they rode wheel to wheel together. Rob Marriott unfortunately coming unstuck and is now doomed to 11th place outside of the top 10. Wow, what a moment. Just on the cusp of the points, and he's lost the lot. And now Timo Rauder's no doubt going to be breathing down his neck. Lotriano now and Jason Bentz coming together. Of course, Bentz with the damage on the rear of his wing, on the rear of his car, with the wing just buckled there. You can see at the back. And that's not helping the aero whatsoever. Joey managing to move up into 9th as a consequence. Extraordinary moment. And now, no doubt, Joey Lotriano will look to try and close up on Jack Harrison for that 8th spot, who is now on his own, really. Some clean air. I'm sure you'll find that beneficial. There's Isaac Price. He hasn't waited around either. In fact, he's closed up on Ben Smith rather quickly. The gap now at 0.3 of a second as they crawl through turn 1. Heading out of turn 2 as well. You can just see how much they're gluing to that inside apex, heading out of Big Bend. And then through turn 2 into the S's now. The left-hander at turn 3, in towards the right-hander, and then no name straight. Price and Smith at loggerheads here at this point. Still big points on the table here. 5th place up for grabs. Of course, 5th place in the previous race would have granted you 15 points. This time it will provide you with 10 points. Still, nonetheless, points mean greater championship finishing positions. Great race so far for Nora Farney, who is right at the top. He is currently 9/10 clear up at the front end and is doing an absolutely stellar job at managing this race so far. Blake Townend has no answer for him right now. Jose Soria again posting the fastest lap of the race. 44.6 here at this stage, and trying to close down on Miguel Martin. Here is Isaac Price that we're riding on board with right now. G2 Esports Professional driver who has raced in ESL R1 competition right through the course of this calendar year. Has raced all the way back, remember round 1 at Katowice, where we had event 1 and event 2, where he had to produce in land mode. Of course, went to Munich then for the spring season major. He went to Gamers 8 as well, challenged for the top prize in Saudi Arabia, before then trying to make his way through the fall season online rounds to try and gain a place in the fall season major as well. But it just wasn't to be for Isaac Price. But no doubt 2024 will be a better year for him. Just look at how close he is to the back of Ben Smith, glued all over the rear of the car that's in front. Ben Smith doing a stellar job though to defend, but Price, I'm sure, will be knocking on the door continuously. Lap 10 of 20 right now. And they'll soon make their way as they head through the fast segment of turn 6. Down the hill they'll go. Can't help but feel that he's chipping away at this wood. I will say, talking about chipping away at some wood right now, Blake Townend and Nora Farney, the gap reduced now to 0.7 of a second. Remember, it was on the cusp of a second as well. But we're all glued on this fight between Price and Smith right now. For good reason, because they are very close. There's Lewis Barlow. Just look at that, up at the front end. There's Ferraro. There's Townend as well. He's knocked off another 10 as he looks to close up on Nora Farney. Now, this is where that we'll see the tyre situation really come into fruition. Has Nora Farney used too much of the tyres here at this stage? Is this where Blake Townend can put some clever race IQ into motion? Because of course, if he's managed to persevere and at the same time savour those tyres a little more than Nora Farney, then he could be a real threat in the closing stages, and we have still got 8 laps to go. Of course, we've already concluded 12 laps of racing. It has been stellar. It has been thrilling. What an encounter it has been too. As we now see the cars make their way through this next slalom section of Farney now. He's trying to hold on to the lead, but he's vanishing by the moment. Look at it, 4/10 now. Another 10 being sacrificed by Farney up at the top. Stellar race so far. Look back at Farney's results from the previous race. Of course, it wasn't enough to even whisper in the top 10, but this time he could be on for a race victory. But Blake Townend really starting to knuckle down now. Half a second between the pair now. And Saverio Ferraro also coming in as well, just coming into picture. We just saw him there, but he's got a bit more work to do. Blake Townend can't afford to make a mistake, because if he does, he'll be right in the clutches of the man in P3. And Ferraro, all the way from the United States, certainly proven that he has the raw ability and pace. As we now right on board with him now. 2.3 to find off the race lead. A little bit less than that though, should he want to break in. 1.1 seconds to be exact. as he looks to try and rein it in now. The gap's starting to come down again though, as Afani now realises, I think, that Townend is starting to urge closer and closer. It's now or never for Afani. Big points on the table as we now see Isaac Price now, 5th place. He's managed to get past Ben Smith, so credit to him for that. That is a grandiose move to be made there. Smith now at the mercy a little bit here of Bryce Veyer as well, who was right in the heart of the battle in our previous race. Jack Harrison in 8th as well, who's also being brought into the fight. Quite a queue of cars here squabbling over this P5 and 6 position. Though I will say this, Isaac Price starting to margin out a gap. It's about a second now at this point. Jose Soria still the fastest man out on circuit, 44.562, and he's closing down on his previous race rival, Timo Rohde. But they have got 4 seconds between them. Fight up at the front though. Blake Townend once again trying to marshal a 10th in. 6 tenths now though, becomes 8 tenths. Can't afford to make mistakes. Of course, Townend would love to take away a victory there. A little bit squirrely on an exit there from Saverio Ferraro. He got in a little bit deep, heading on the outset of turn 6. Just a squirrely moment, just caught running out wide, and the grass can be so slippery, as we have already seen these Radical cars being so quick. One touch of grass and the grip fails you. Of course, we saw plenty of that in the opening stages of the race, and we saw it in the previous race too, especially at the race start. Coming out of turn 1, here's Blake Townend. We're riding on board with him now. Just see him just sort of managing the race right now. Lap 16 of 20, 4 laps of magic still remain. And Afani with a 44. These two pretty much matching each other on pace. 44.827 for Blake Townend, 44.824 for Noor Afani. There is only 3 thousandths of a second between them in terms of their fastest lap. That is absolutely unbelievable. Still no one can touch Jose Soria, who is currently 3 tenths faster than those at the very front. As we're now seeing Afani head through turn 1 and turn 2. We're now on lap 17 of 20. 3 laps to go here in this race. The reverse grid race that will offer the winner 25 points. 4 tenths away now. Blake Townend starting to reel in Noor Afani. P1 could be up for question. Of course, Noor Afani from the United States as well, being closed down by the man from the UK, Blake Townend, who has a great chance here of perhaps taking P1 glory if he can marshal in a huge attack coming into the final 2 laps of this race. Through the Samposi straight they go in towards turn 1. A little error, I would argue, from Noor Afani. He got onto the race curbs a little bit there, and that could very easily pivot the car. It'll certainly unsettle the balance there. You can see them rumbling over the curbs now this time around as well. Coming out of turn 3 in towards turn 4. They've got No Name straight to come, and then making their way uphill through turn 5. This is going to be a thriller here at Lime Rock Park. Of course, this Grand Prix layout, as I've said, some of the world's greats have performed at this circuit. We speak about the Juan Manuel Fangio name that has held the fastest lap here in official real-life competition. Of course, in the IMSA GTP, where of course he was a race winner back in 92 and 93. This time we're seeing Radicals make their way around this circuit. The PowerTech P-Tech 6-speed sequential manual gearbox and its own home-built engine, the RPE performance engine, 2.7 litre V8 petrol, flying and singing through Lime Rock Park, and it's Noor Afani who's out in front. Townend trying to reel him in. He's doing everything he can. Penultimate lap of the race here. And as soon as they cross 20 and 20, it'll all be down to that moment. 4 tenths is all that separates. You can see them now starting to get closer and closer. They now graze over turn 6, down through towards turn 7. It's Afani out in front. Townend trying to close him down. An incredible race this has certainly been, and we could be in the clutches of a potential blockbuster here in the final lap. Afani still out in front as they now venture through turns 1 and turns 2. Just look at how now the gaps are minimal between them, 6 tenths. That's all that separates. One mistake will cost you everything. Afani doing his best to try and maintain the pace levels here and keep Townend behind. As they now encroach down the hill now, heading through towards turn 5. You just see now up the hill again, over the crest. You don't see a thing heading over the top of that hill. And it really does separate the men from the boys as they venture their way through turn 6, but it doesn't look like anyone can catch this man. Noor Rafani has driven brilliantly as he makes his way down through towards the start-finish line. Noor Rafani is your race winner here at Lime Rock Park. A sensational result to capture the second race win, with Blake Townend finishing in second place. A stellar showing between all of them. Savario Ferraro comes home in third, with Jonathan Smith in fourth, Isaac Price in fifth, Ben Smith sixth, Jack Harrison in seventh, Bryce Veyer in eighth, Joey Loctriano in ninth, Rob Marriott in 10th, Timo Roeder, of course, Victor in race 1. Off that basis, we'll have to calculate it, but will he be crowned champion? I'm pretty sure he will. We'll have to make sure we get a gathering of the points. I believe, though, off the back of what we're seeing here, 30 points enough to bring it on the day, despite not scoring a single point in this race. Jose Soria in 12th, Miguel Martin in 13th, Fabio Zampolini in 14th, with Lewis Barlow 15th, Jason Bent 16th, Thomas Simon in 17th. And that is all she wrote, folks. What a sensational result. I mean, it was absolutely sensational. Make sure as well, folks, you get involved in the giveaway, but what a stellar race to end the day. I mean, 2 races in, 30 points to the table after race 1. That was the crucial one for Timo Roeder. And the Swiss driver, very well deserved after that one. It was a stellar performance. These are the final points. And Timo Roeder is your victor, with Jose Soria in second place, who once again, I believe, fired in the fastest lap in that second race too. His pace was unquestionable. Noor Rafani after that second race win, taking 25 points for that. Bryce Veyer in fourth, with Miguel Martin in fifth. Jack Harrison in 6th. Blake Townend finishing 7th in the championship. Isaac Price in 8th. Saverio Ferraro in 9th. Jonathan Smith finishing P10. But it's Timo Roeder. He is your Community Showdown Sim Racing Edition champion here in this case here tonight. And what a performance, what a show. And he certainly did give it everything. Unfortunately, just on the cusp of the top 10. Could not quite make it into the points in race 2. But nonetheless, it was certainly a pleasure to watch. And I'm sure he'll be looking ahead. Perhaps we'll see him take part in many more community events. I'm sure we will. But certainly an amazing performance. We will, of course, eventually have an interview as well with Timo Roeder. We can get his insights into his truly incredible performance. But we've got lots to digest off the back of that. Lots of maneuvers, lots of overtakes. I think race 2 definitely wins on the hand of, in terms of action, I think, off the back of that. Let us know in the live chat as well as to who your standout driver was. I'm very keen to hear your thoughts. I'm already seeing there, not born yesterday, saying great racing. Windigo, I think, enjoyed that race as well. Nice race. Absolutely right. Amazing. Brisket saying 4 people tied for 5th. Yeah, I mean, phenomenal. I mean, that's how close it truly was. Make sure you get involved in the giveaway as well, guys. Remember, !giveaway to be in with a chance of winning a Next Level Racing rig. Fantastic rig as well. Did they post what the points were for each race were? Yes. Well, I can go through it now. 30 points for a win in race 1, and it was 25 points for a win in race 2. But because no one could get close in the second race to Roeder, anyone who scored points in race 1, they could not win the championship, or take it away from Roeder. So Roeder doing enough after race 1 to capture the crown, and he did it in great style as well. But yeah, what a stellar performance from him. Deserves it too. At the end of the day, it's all about taking your opportunities. He did just that. He did enough. I mean, obviously there was plenty of cars threatening. In terms of consistent performance, credit to Isaac Price. As we know, he is so good. And I'm pleased to say that we do have Timo Roeder with us in the commentary box. He's joining us for an interview. Timo, what a phenomenal result, my friend. You were just outside the points as well in race 2, but you did enough in race 1. You must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, of course. Race 1 was very demanding, and it is all about race 1, because race 1 is where the most points are. And of course, a little bit disappointed to get crashed out in race 2, because it could have been just as good as race 1 with Jose. And I'm pleased to win here.
I'm sure you are. I mean, Jose Soria did give you a lot to think about, I think, because he was posting fastest laps after fastest laps. He was the fastest man in both races. I think if we look back at the times, he was really, really closing you down, especially in race 1. But you just did enough. I think you just found little bits. I would argue perhaps your consistency is what made the difference. How much preparation, how much work have you put in behind the scenes in terms of these radicals here at Lime Rock Park? Has it been a long haul practice, or is this something that you sort of work with on a daily basis?
I think it wasn't too much for me because it's quite a short track and the car is quite similar to what I usually drive. So it wasn't too much. It was about 3 hours, 2 hours. But yeah, it was good. And I think it was all about qualifying. I think Jose didn't get the best lap in. Neither did I, but it is cold tires and it's very tricky. He was very fast in both races. I was trying to manage things, but I think in the end he was still up there with me.
Yeah, what's the cars like to drive in the clean air? I mean, do you sacrifice a lot of pace? I know certain cars, depending on the drag that you can get. Sometimes cars benefit off the drag a lot more than others, and some benefit off clean air. Do you prefer to obviously have open space in front of you?
Yes, I think Jose definitely struggled with the dirty air. I know how bad it is on this track and in this car. I definitely want to have clean air. I want to see the track, of course, and spot my braking points to get a good lap.
Yeah, and in terms of future events and things of that nature, can you tell us a little bit more about what you might be pushing for in your future sim racing career? Is this only the beginning for Timo Rohde?
I'm currently just driving the LMDHs on iRacing, the GTP class. I really enjoy these. Of course, it's pretty similar to the Radical. I'm going to drive it in the special events, of course, on iRacing, and then see what's coming.
Well, tell you what, absolutely tremendous stuff as well. I mean, obviously, off the back of that, I'm no doubt you're going to be absolutely pleased with that. I can tell you that we have got the prizes here as well in terms of what you get for first place. NLR GT track as well for you, Timo Rohde. Congratulations for that. What's your reaction? You must be absolutely thrilled with that.
Yeah, I definitely need it because right now I'm still using a wheel stand from a G29 and it is flexing quite a lot with the with the Fanatec wheel. So I will definitely need it.
Yeah, well, I mean, next level racing equipment is certainly fantastic. I can attest to it. It's brilliant. I drive it all the time, so credit to you. Congratulations on that. I also want to give a shout out to Jose Soria as well, who picks up the next level racing GT Racer, and Nora Fani, who picks up the HF8 haptic gaming pad as well. So prizes will be making their way across to those guys too. Absolutely tremendous indeed. Obviously, yourself, Timo, thank you for joining us as well. We want to congratulate you on a stellar victory, and we wish you all the very best.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. That's Timo, everybody. What a fantastic human being, and certainly fantastic racer as well. Certainly he does deserve it after an immense first race. I mean, obviously, performances like that do not go amiss, and I'm sure we'll see him back once again. We do, of course, have a winner of our giveaway as well, and I'm pleased to announce that Windigo _N has won the giveaway. So congratulations to you, sir. You take away our prize as listed in our giveaway instructions earlier on with Next Level Racing. So congratulations to you, and that prize will be making its way to you very, very soon. So well done to you on that. But folks, I tell you what, make sure you get involved, make sure you stay updated, because here at G2 Esports, we will regularly be streaming for the community as well. Plenty of these racing nights and showdowns as well. And obviously make sure you hit the follow button. Big shout out as well to our friends and colleagues at Next Level Racing as well. Make sure you check those guys out as well. Big thank you to those guys for the prizes they have put up for our winners, not to mention to those that have tuned in as well. We really appreciate your support, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Stay tuned. Make sure you stay tuned to the socials as well for future events that come through here at G2 Esports. In the meantime, I've been George Morgan. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.